Good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. My name is Shanala Marias, and I would like to welcome you all to our live webcast. The focus of our webcast today is how to create and deliver value to members with Dynamics Association Blueprint. We have Eric, our Customer Success Manager, and Sergio, our Senior Consultant, presenting for us today. For anyone who has joined our Dynamics Association webinar in the past would certainly recognize Eric as our subject matter expert. Eric has worked with numerous membership associations as well as non-for-profits and charities. He's also heavily involved in the higher education space and has helped many organizations take their first step into CRM with our quick launch blueprint. Now, to give you a more technical perspective on Dynamics Association Blueprint today, we have Sergio, our senior consultant. Sergio has been working with CRM systems for the past 10 years and has experience in implementing CRM solutions in a wide variety of industries, including healthcare, construction, manufacturing, government, finance, and education. So he also has immense experience working closely on Dynamics Association projects, which is why we're quite excited to have him showcase the features of DAB today. On that note, I will pass it over to Eric, and we hope you enjoy the session.
Thank you very much for the introduction, Chanel, and welcome everybody. Appreciate your time here today. Just a quick overview of what to expect today and what the agenda will look like. So we've gone through a quick round of introductions. I'm going to take a couple of minutes to help you understand who we are as a company and help you understand why CRM Dynamics could be good for your organization. And further from there, we're going to go into the blueprint's features to understand some of the things that are available within the association blueprint. And then certainly what most of us are here for today is the live demonstration of the association blueprint with Sergio. And as you can see, we'll be covering a variety of different areas within the solution. If there is something that you were hoping to see that was not covered today or as part of the solution that didn't go to the detail that you were looking for, please feel free to follow up with us and we can provide more detail in those areas. And then lastly, we'll have some time left over for questions. But again, please, if something comes up 10 minutes after today's webinar, don't hesitate to reach out to us to ask some questions. We're happy to help. On to the next one, please. Perfect. So the top paragraph here, I won't read the entire thing out to you, but there's a few notable pieces that I wanted to call out. And the first is which we're a gold certified partner. We're located just outside of Toronto here in Canada. And we won something called the 2019 Impact Award last year for business applications. Well, this one is a really big win for us, something we're very proud of. So it's not the number of deals sold or growth in revenue or licenses sold. It's the largest impact made on an organization by implementing Dynamics, and we're very proud to have done that with our project. And the last thing here is that we became part of Microsoft's inner circle. So that's something only the top 1% of partners do globally, and it really gives us an insight as to what the future roadmaps of the organization look like. But all in all, we've become experts over 700 projects and 250 implementation or active clients currently. We've become experts in integrating a multitude of different systems into Dynamics 365. So whether it be your ERP, whether it be your portal, your current website, or other solutions you're currently using within your organization, we've become experts in integration as well. Now, let me talk a little bit about the blueprints and why it is that you'd be looking at a blueprint and why it is that we use blueprints ourselves. Over those 750 implementations over the years, we found that there were many commonalities amongst different industries, one of those being with member-based organizations or professional associations. And what we found is that about 80% of the commonalities apply to most of these organizations, where there's about 10 to 20% of unique functionality or processes within an organization that need to be tailored to make the solution fit what you exactly want to do versus it be a straight out of the box product, where it won't necessarily make 10 or 20% of what you were looking to accomplish. So with our blueprints, you find that cost and the timeline of implementation is much more efficient across the board. So it's like, if you will, use an analogy with me here, it's like starting a 10K race and getting to join at the 7K, 8K, or in some cases even the 9K mark, and just finishing off that last little bit to make it be what it needs to be for you. Go to the next slide, please. So why are you here today? Why would you be looking at a new solution? And many of our past customers and current clients now came to us with many of these issues right here. So if these things are speaking to you, you may find that Dynamics Blueprint, Association Blueprint could be the solution. And the first piece we're going to mention here is lapsing memberships. And there could be many different reasons for this. It could be because of lack of options to do with their renewal, different ways to pay. It could be a very manual and painstaking process for them to renew their memberships. And the people that we fight hard to get as members and constantly grow as members, we need to make sure that we have a process in place to retain those members and keep them in place and continue to provide value for them. The second piece, and this does not just only apply to associations in any way, but fragmented data. So a lot of the time with nonprofits and member-based organizations, we find that they pick a solution that's going to answer a need, a cost-effective solution that's going to answer an individual need as these issues come up or different areas. And what we end up with is fragmented solutions and fragmented data. And these solutions often do not speak to each other. It makes it very difficult to get a 360-degree view of your member or even partnerships that you have. And further to that is the lack of self-serve capabilities. And these are some of the reasons why maybe we have lapsing memberships, is that these individuals and your members aren't able to self-serve a lot of the things that they'd like to do and access these things, especially in this day and age, remotely from anywhere as they need to. So whether it be setting up for an event at 2 in the morning and your offices are closed, or if it be a change in address or payment on their profile, or even their castle compliance and how you like to communicate with them. It could be changes in their membership. It could be them opening a case or a ticket with you because there's an issue. It's something you definitely want to have a tracking process involved with. And lastly, even a storefront, so that person can either purchase courses or actual items from the inventory and have another revenue stream directly through your self-serve portal. And that leads to a lack of digital payment gateway. So if there's a manual process around either renewals or signing up for courses or events that you do without the ability to have a digital payment gateway right there, it can definitely make things more difficult for the end user or for your potential member. When it comes to communication, when it comes to marketing content, we live in an age where we're constantly blasted with information across the board. And to make sure that the information that goes to your members, and this is really key to understand the individual members and what would be important to them, and providing for them quality and relevant marketing content. If you were to receive 5 different emails in the week from your organization, maybe one of them spoke to you, there's a small chance that you actually opened that one email because you feel that most of them are not speaking to you. But if you were to get one focused email that's relevant to your interests and your goals within being a member of this organization, it will have a much higher chance of speaking to that person. Visibility and reporting. So for management and different roles in the organization, to get an understanding of what's happening and when, so that way we can make decisions quickly and at the right time on inefficiencies or even something like unresolved cases, which leads to the next point, within having good, proper reporting and visibility into those things there. Next slide, please. So let's speak to a little bit of the features that actually apply to some of those issues and how do we actually do these. I'll be very brief here so that way we can get a closer look at really what it looks like within the solution itself. But here are some of the features that can be included in the association blueprint. So the first piece is member management. So whether you're sorting your members by different types, different levels, whether you're creating every type of option for payments for them, whether bi-weekly payments, monthly, semi-annually, annually, automatic renewals, and understanding these levels of memberships for them. It really helps provide all the options. Event management, of course, tracking the attendance and engagement in these events and different members, but also understanding how successful they were, if it's something that you'd like to continue to do and getting good reporting on those events. The storefront, we've mentioned already, giving the ability to purchase straight from your portal. Continuing education, so whether you'd like to have different pieces of education or information available to your members through there, or even if you'd like to start tracking an education for them. So if they participate in a webinar or a course or event, you can actually provide accreditations to that member for participating through these events. Information sharing, so of course making sure that your CASL compliance and everything is set and making sure it's a capability of being self-serve as well. And of course, to make sure that they have the ability to receive the information that they'd like to, so by selecting interest and going back to the relevant content. Lastly, on this page here, fundraising and donor management, something that likely applies to many of you. So I want to be the ability to track who our donors are, what campaigns are successful, where should we put more of our efforts towards, and maybe even providing some of the feedback to your donors as to where their money's going and what kind of impact it's having. Next up, we have security. So whether it be the information within your organization, you want to make sure that it's segmented between different users. You'd like to make sure that one side of the organization sees what they'd like to see, and that is all. Right up to the security that you get with your solution being hosted on Azure. It's absolutely world-class security levels with no concern on what's happening with your data. If you have any more questions around data and security or concerns there, please do follow up. We do have everything that you would need to feel comfortable in that area. Membership directories, so whether this be internally or exposed out to the portal, being able to have a directory of your members. Multilingual ready, so our solution is fully functional in English, French, and Spanish, but we can also work with you if other languages are required, and we would work with you through those translations and custom fields that we need. Office 365 integration and Dynamics marketing integration. Let's put those up there for a moment. Office 365 integration, again, probably something that many of you are currently using this day. And there is really nothing that integrates with Office 365 like Dynamics 365 because they were built to work together. They're all sharing the same database, and it's really just an extension of your current use of Office 365. It actually is the same credentials you'd log in with, and it's just another application available to your users. And next would be the Dynamics marketing integration. Many of you probably have a way of communicating with some sort of platform, and the Dynamics marketing platform is certainly available to either get a more robust solution or have something that's built directly inside of the solution, again, sharing the same database and platform. Portal member and website. I'll be very brief here because there's a lot of things that we covered in the self-service portal, and you're going to get a look at that in a moment. But in this day and age, if you guys can imagine, it's very much the day and age where self-service is king. And so we are living in a day and age where even your banking, your mortgage, your phone bills, you name it, you want the ability to self-service and access those services without having to call, go somewhere, or communicate with somebody else. And so making that available to your end users really brings you into this day and age and expands exponentially the way people can access your services. And lastly, here is finance and performance reporting. So whether it could be integration to your current financing solution, whether it be looking at a Dynamics finance solution, or just pulling data to get a visibility into those areas that you need to see, we can certainly help you in that area. And without any further ado, I appreciate your patience in sitting through the deck slides with me. I will pass things off to Sergio to get a live look at what Dynamics Association Blueprint can look like.
Thank you, Eric. So what I want to show you today is, let me get out of this. What I want to show you today is I want to show you the experience of the two types of users. So first, the user from the CRM standpoint, and then the endpoint from the user, well, in this situation, what we like to call is the actual members. So first, I'll begin with the CRM system. So as an internal user, when you first log into the CRM system, you will start by seeing the dashboards. What's really nice about this dashboard, so CRM has its own dashboard technology, but we like to extend it using the Power BI engine. And what's nice about it, because it's all part of the Microsoft ecosystem, you can actually easily embed Power BI reports inside of CRM, either at a dashboard, an entity, or an actual field record, record level. So as you can see right here, this is one of the dashboards that comes with the Dynamics Association Blueprint. And you can see all the current membership information, invoices, renewals. And then if you click here, you can see that there are other dashboards that you can look at. Let's wait till this loads up. So this is more of a typical CRM type of dashboard. What's great about these types of dashboards is that anybody can actually create their own personal dashboard. But again, this is one that comes with the Dynamics Association Blueprint. And this one is directly linked. All of it's directly linked to live data within the system. There is no waiting for a whole day for the data to be refreshed. It's all direct. So if you make a change inside the system, you come back to the dashboard's already been updated. So the next thing I want to move to is, so of course, all this membership encompasses accounts and mainly contacts. So first we'll start from accounts. So accounts, of course, are companies that you either do business with, or they may be a vendor or anything like along those lines. So I'll just open up an account here. So when you look at an account, so one thing to note with the Dynamics Association Blueprint is that memberships can be at the contact level, but they can also be at the account level. So if you're doing business with a company and you want to make all their employees members, you don't have to give each and every single one of them a membership access. You can just give the membership access to the entire account. And then every single related contact, as you can see over here, all the different contacts would have the same membership. So it's much easier to maintain than having to say you have an account with 150 employees, having to maintain 150 memberships for those accounts. So as you can see here on the accounts, you can see the account information. You have what's known as a timeline. I like to relate kind of compare this to the Facebook wall, where this is where you can see all types of activities that are performed within the system. And not just, when I talk about activities, it's not just emails and notes, but it's also things that have happened within the system. So, you know, an opportunity gets created, a case gets created, the account gets updated. You'll also see it within the timeline here. So of course, each account has a primary contact, but it also has many, many different other contacts related to it. From here, you can also see all the recent opportunities and cases and entitlements. You can also see the location of the account using this little map. So of course, an account can have, so at the top level, an account can have up to 3 addresses, but if an account has many more addresses, so for example, you may have a head office, and then they have all these different locations, like a warehouse or a distribution center, you can have all those addresses. So there's no limit really to the amount of addresses you can have on an account. The details page has a lot more detailed information about the account, so billing, contact preferences. This is what Eric was talking about, the CASL compliance. This exists both at the account level and at the contact level. So whenever you're trying to send out marketing emails to customers or contacts within the system, the marketing engine will look at these fields here to see whether or not they want to receive those emails. And of course, you can also have an account hierarchy. So you can have a parent account with all the different childs. So a lot of flexibility on how to set up accounts inside the system. So click the next one, files. So this has to do with the SharePoint integration. So of course, storage on CRM is possible, but it's not the best practice. Of course, SharePoint is a much better file storage system, so it very easily integrates inside of CRM. So even though the files are being stored inside of SharePoint, nobody ever has to log into SharePoint. You can see the files from within CRM. Plus, what's also nice, you don't have to go searching for a specific file for a specific client. You just come here to the account record, and all the files associated to that account are shown up right here. So the next I want to show you is I want to start showing you the contacts. So this is this is the list view of all the contacts within your system. You can filter it again by the first letter of their first name. You can also do a search along the top here. But if we open up one of the contacts, so when you look at one of the contacts, you see a lot of the basic information, so their name, their email address, alternate email, phone numbers. But you'll also see here, if they're a member, they'll have the member record for their active membership would show up here. Then of course all the invoices that are associated to this contact will also show up in this list. And like what Eric was talking about with the continuing education, their accreditation. So if you set up accreditations either through products or through events, they would show up here to see which accreditations the contact has. And of course, it also keeps a history of all the memberships that they've had over time. So. And again, we also have the timeline list right here. And here's where you would have the relationship back to the company on the contact. And again, if like we're on the, like you saw on the account, you would see an opportunity. So what's great about CRM is that I like to say it's like a spider web, everything's related to everything. So if I create an opportunity as a user, I create an opportunity for a contact and also list the account. Not only do I see the same opportunity at the account level, but I also see it at the contact level. And then the same thing with applications and cases. Same thing as the accounts, you can have multiple addresses. If you also want to relate, so for example, you have a family of members, you can relate all those family members through the related contacts page. And then you can also have connections between, so for example, if they're not immediate family within the one household, but maybe they're uncle and aunt or grandparents, you can use the connections to relate those contacts in that fashion. Here's where you would see a list of all the events and whatever contests that they've been entered, attended. Also, if you want to, the Dynamics Association Blueprint allows you to set up contacts or members as volunteers. So if you have an event that's in person, you can set up these volunteers to volunteer at the event as a greeter or working a booth, and you can keep track of it all here. The expenses, again, files, same thing, SharePoint, integration, and then details. Again, here's your castle compliance. Here's some more personal information, billing information. Now, the one thing I want to do, have everyone understand, and I'll show you a little bit later, is that this billing information is very high level information. It's not credit card information. At no point is any credit card information stored inside of CRM. We use something called authorize.net. It is reliable, just like PayPal. So all the information is stored in their servers, so the customer should feel very secure with providing you credit card information. So the next thing I want to show, so this is really the CRM aspect of it all, but the next thing I want to show you is the portal aspect, because I think this is where the real benefit is with the Dynamics Association Blueprint. So here is the landing page for when a contact first comes to the portal. Now, this portal, of course, is very generic looking. It can be customized to your business. You can have your logo, you use all your colors, you can update all the buttons. So if you scroll down, you can see here we have your join us today to register as a member. And then down here, you can put some features. And then, so just like a regular website, you can customize it to make it look like your own website. The other thing that's really nice, and we've done for a lot of customers, is to avoid having to do too much customization to the portal, is that we just embed the portal within their website so that it's easier to maintain all the customizations. So if you want to change your logo or your colors, you're not doing it on a website and a portal, you just do it to your website. The portal just shows up inside a window within your website. So to the end user, it's seamless. It seems like they're still on your same website, but in the back end, it's actually two different systems. So when they click on the Get Started button, what they'd be taken to is what's known as the Join Now page. And as you can see here, here's the different types of memberships that they can purchase. So of course, this is all customized. They are just products inside of CRM. So you can customize it as you wish. You can have monthly, yearly, weekly, quarterly. You can have one time, you can have reoccurring. It's really up to however you want to set up the system. It's completely flexible in that fashion. So now you see all these fields that are in the system. Now, the one thing I want to mention about when you're doing stuff inside of this portal, there is no in-between layer. So there is no integration between your portal with a middle system and then your CRM system. The portal is really an overlay of your CRM system. So as soon as I fill in all this information, make my purchase and press submit, that data is automatically stored within inside of CRM. So it's real-time storage of the data. There is no pushing it to a portal database and then waiting for an integration to push that information inside of CRM. And here's the payment gateway. So this is where they would put their credit card information in. Once this credit card information is inputted into the system, it gets stored inside of CRM. And of course, the customer has the ability to, within the self-serve portal, they can go ahead and make changes to their credit card. So they can cancel and put in a new credit card. They can actually have multiple payment, so multiple credit cards, just like PayPal, and they can choose which credit card they want to use every time they make a purchase. So the next page, this is where they would maintain their profile. So again, same fields, and again, real time. Any changes they make right there go straight to inside of CRM. So the things that they can do is they can manage their profile. They can change their password if they want. They can change the email, and they can manage their external authentication. And they can also manage their credit card payments. At the bottom here, it's again with the Castle compliance, they can also manage their subscriptions that they've signed up for. The next page I'm going to show you is so when you set up an event inside of CRM, it'll show up inside this calendar for anybody. Now, another thing I want to mention that's really nice about the portal is that, so I've showed you that, you know, you have a membership and you sign into the portal, and then you have access to the calendar. That doesn't always have to happen. You can set up the calendar to be to non-members. So, and what's nice about that is that you can have different pricing for event tickets. So you can have an event where for non-members, it's $100 to get for the event, or you can have a member price at $80. The system will automatically control which tickets they see or which passes they would see. You don't have to set up different events, one for non-members, one for members. You just set up one event, one set of sessions within the event, and the system will automatically control which ones they have access to. So once you have an event here and you click on here, and of course it doesn't want to work. There we go. So you click on the plus, and here are all the different passes that they can choose. So they can buy, well, of course it refreshes. So they can buy multiples of everything. So it could be one person that's going in there to purchase passes for numerous people within their organization. Let's try this again. Yeah, so you can have one person go in there and say, okay, I need to buy 20 tickets for all day for my organization. So I just press to buy tickets, and what happens is that gets added to my shopping cart. What's nice about that, again, it's just like most shopping websites, is that you don't necessarily, when you're in here, you may want to purchase some event tickets, but you also may want to do some shopping in the storefront, which is the next thing I wanted to show you. So here's the storefront. So of course, if you have products you want to sell, books, mugs, you know, customized t-shirts and sweaters, this is where you would go ahead and purchase it. So you can have a very quick description right here of what the product is, but you can also have a more detailed description added to the product using this little information button right here. So let's say I want to buy this sweater. I can go ahead and just add it to my shopping cart. And here's my shopping cart right here. So here's everything that I've added to my shopping cart, and you can see you can change the quantities, you can remove it. Here's your total up at the top here, and then you can go ahead and pay using the payment gateway. The last thing I want to show you on the portal, and this is what Eric was talking about, is the membership, directory. So here you can list all your members that are within your system, like actual active members. The other thing that you can do also with the membership is that maybe you don't want to show active members to everybody because of privacy issues, but let's say you're a type of organization that you work with other, so for example, you're a health organization and you work with other organizations to provide great service to your customers and your members. So you can actually list all your connected organizations that you work with here as a way to provide more contact information to some of these external organizations to your existing members. Oh, the other thing, sorry, the one thing I missed, go back. So once they click on the Join Now page, they would receive an email. The contact would receive an email to verify their new membership. So they would receive an email that looks like this. Again, this is all very customizable. This is right now very generic, and it's dynamic. So see how the email automatically picked up on who I am, and it personalized the emails for me. But then they would click on it, and once they click on it, they'd be taken to a page to be able to input their password. And at this point, now their membership is now fully authorized. So then if we go here, the last thing I want to show you is I want to show you what a contact with an actual membership looks like. So once they are an active member and they have a membership that they've paid for, you can see here that you have your invoices and membership. And what's nice here is these are all locked fields. These are all system generated fields. So in the back end, the system will automatically identify. So they purchase a new membership. They'll say, okay, this is the kind of membership they have. It's the unique identifier for the membership, whether the membership is active, what tier it is, and also set up the renewal date. And again, this is what Eric was talking about with the renewals. What's really nice about the system is that there's a backend engine that keeps track of when a membership is about to expire. The system can be set up to start sending out notifications. So let's say in 2 months before an expiration of a membership, we can send out an email stating, hey, listen, your membership's going to expire in 2 months. Please log on and go ahead and renew your membership. Again, you can have a notification a month, the day of, but it's also flexible. So if you want to give your members a grace period, so if for example, they were way too busy, they didn't have time to go ahead and renew their membership, you can set up the system to give them a grace period of however many X days that you wish to provide. So that way they don't lose their membership if their membership expires, and they get, let's say, 30 days past their membership to renew their membership. So, and then of course, here's your current membership. So this is one of the membership records that gets created when you set up a membership. So here you have all the detailed information. So this is the product or the membership that they purchased. This is, again, the customer. This is start and renewal date. This is also what's really nice is that you have here you have here the number of days. So you have a countdown. So you don't have to have a complex system to keep track of, okay, how many memberships are 1 month away. In reality, you just look at, okay, how many memberships have 10 days left or 30 days left. So it makes the system much simpler to keep track of. And then of course, here's the amount of money that they've spent on memberships. And that's pretty much it. I guess the last thing I can show you too is what an event looks like in the back end. So when setting up an event, you would create a new event. Of course, you give it a name, and then you start adding the capacity. So the capacity is closely related back to the passes that you set up. So what this allows this allows you to not overbook an event. And once an event is fully sold out, you can actually have anybody who wants to register for the event, put them on a wait list in case somebody has canceled. And then you can have, once somebody has canceled, you can have a notification that goes out to, of course, it's first come, first served, but you would give it to the first person that's on your wait list and say, hey, the spot's open up on our event. Would you like to still attend our event? So again, keeps track of the statistics of how many how many passes have been sold, how many are still waiting, how many are in the wait list. And then of course, as you can also set up, so if you have event speakers, you can keep track of it here. And this all goes great to what Eric was talking about with reporting. The more information you can store with inside of CRM, the better your reporting will be in the end. And the better you can do analytics to figure out, okay, we just had an event, how successful was that event? Because just performing the event and doing the event is just not enough. You need to know after the fact that how successful was this event? Did it cost us too much money? Where did we lose money? Did we make a lot of money? Was the event speaker very attention grabbing? All that kind of stuff. All that can be stored within inside the system. So Then of course here you have your event attendees. So once somebody shows up to one of your events, whether it's in person or it's online, you can mark them down as whether they attended or not. Why that's useful is, of course, so that once the event is over, you can send them a thank you notification or an email saying thank you for attending our event. Here's a link if it's a webinar. Here's a link to the recording of our event for your future use. But you can also go for the people who registered but didn't show up. You can send them an email saying, hey, we've noticed that you didn't show up, but we'd like to send you a link to the webinar so that you can review the video. So all the information is stored inside of CRM. The next one is general. So again, you can keep store of who the event manager is, the location, the dates. So that an event can span one day, it can span multiple days. You can store the webpage URL for the event here, a description, and here's where you come into those. So those passes, when I clicked on the portal to purchase a pass, this is where those passes are set up. I'm just going to open one up. So here you can see we've allocated 100 passes to this. Every time one is sold, this number will increment, and of course this number will shrink by. So it's a simple math: passes allocated minus passes sold equals passes available. Of course, you have your price, you can have your currency. So of course, currencies, we support currencies from all over the world. So that's not a problem. So the financial reporting that Eric was talking about, this is where this comes into play. So you can actually set up the different finance categories for the different passes that you sell. Of course, this list is completely customizable. And then this is where I talked about before that you can control whether a pass is for a member or non-member. This is where you would set it up, and this is what tells the system that when showing the passes, if they haven't logged in, show them any passes where the member only is set to no, but if they have logged in, show them any passes that are set to member only yes. And then here's again the event attendees, the event session. So one of the nice things, the flexibility is that, for small in-person conferences, this may not be necessary, but let's say you have a very large event and you have multiple sessions happening at the exact same time. The system allows you to set these up so you can have room A, room B, room C from 10 to 11, and you can actually, when people are signing up and registering for an event inside the portal, they can actually choose which sessions they want to attend to. And then you can provide them a list of what sessions they chose so that they know once they come to the event, they know where to go. So if we go back to the event. So this is exhibitor information. So of course, maximum spaces, the price for a space. So again, this is part of the financial reporting and figuring out how successful financially the event was, if it cost too much money or if you made really good money off of it. You can also set up exhibitor spaces. So for example, if you have a large room within your in-person event, you want to be able to allow other organizations to come set up a booth within your event. You can set them all up here with the amount of space they're going to take up and the cost that you're going to charge them for attending, being part of your event. And this is just some information for the portal. And now I'm just thinking right now, there was something that Shanella wanted me to show. Yeah, being able to make a donation. I'm not seeing it right now here. But a donation, the portal can be set up to accept donations from members and non-members. So what's nice is that they'll provide their name, they can use their credit card information, they provide how much the quantity is for, but the two main things that's nice about the way the donations are handled within the system is that they can make the donation on behalf of someone else or in memory of someone else. Also, we can also make the donation, they can flag the donation as anonymous. So even though the donation within the system could be tied back to a contact within the system, Once it's flagged as anonymous, when it comes to presenting any kind of information, the contact will not show up as part of the reporting, because you can set it up, say, only show contacts who made donations that were not set as anonymous. Everybody else, it would be show it as just an anonymous donation. Of course, every time they make a donation, an invoice is created within the system. Those invoices can be pulled into a document, a PDF file. So at the end of the year, for tax purposes, we can provide them a receipt for their donations so that they can claim it on their taxes for the year. And that's pretty much it for my presentation.
If you would like additional information or would like to set up a demo to see the product, again, please feel free to contact us and we would be happy to provide a demo for you. You can also visit our website at www.crmdynamics.com. I would like to thank you all for taking the time to attend our presentation today, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, and have a good day.